So what are the top 5 major differences between the traditional franchise brokerage model and the real brokerage model? Hey, what's up guys? Clayton Gits here. So today we're going to break down the top 5 significant differences between the traditional real estate franchise model and real brokerage that I think are really important to understand, whether you're with a traditional franchise brokerage and you're considering real, or if you've never considered real and this is your first exposure. These are important things to understand about the difference between the two models. Now, I have lived in both models, just to be fair. So that's a disclaimer. And to give you some more context, I spent 12 years with a very large traditional franchise model, 12 amazing years, by the way, before moving into this cloud-based brokerage model. So I have a lot of experience with both. I've been in this cloud-based, these cloud-based models for about 8 years now. So number one is high cost structure, oftentimes without a cap. Now, let me give you an example. So I was just introduced to a young lady that is in Western Virginia, kind of in the mountains, and she's amazing. We hit it off immediately, but she was telling me that she has worked for the past 10 years for a friend of hers in a small boutique, traditional, brokerage model. And she has paid that brokerage $100,000 per year for the past 10 years. Now, I'm not great at math, but 100,000 times 10 is $1 million in 10 years. And, I asked her the question, I said, well, what has been the ROI on that for you? And the return on investment, she really couldn't put her finger on the value proposition for $1 million. And that's a problem, right? Because the compound effect of 100, maybe it's not a huge deal. I think it is, but maybe it's not a huge deal if you pay somebody $100,000 in 1 year to hang your license in their brokerage. But over time, the opportunity costs of that money are tremendous. I mean, you could buy multiple investment properties with that money, reinvest in your business, et cetera, et cetera. So a high cost structure, major difference number one, high cost structure with no cap is one of the major differences. Number two is low value proposition. Now, I'm sensitive to saying this, like I'm not trying to bash anybody, but I just hear this. I hear this over and over again that many of these traditional franchise models, and certainly these small boutique brokerages, there's just not a lot of value because they don't have the resources to spend on the training and the technology and the coaching and all of the things. So low value proposition. And I'm going to go back to this example I just gave you in number one, same person. And so again, after kind of analyzing, okay, $100,000 over the course of 10 years, what was the return on that investment? And she really couldn't figure it out. So that's a really important piece to know, like what is the ROI? Like what's the return on this investment? If I'm paying my broker $20,000 a year or $30,000 a year or $100,000 a year, there should be a return on that investment. So that's one of the other significant differences. And I will say that, when you compare those to Real, Real has a $12,000 annual cap. And once you pay the $12,000, you then keep 100% of your commission income minus a transaction fee, a $285 transaction fee, and that's capped at $6,000 before it's reduced to $129, and then that stays in place for the remainder of your anniversary year. Now, we're gonna circle back to that in just a second when we talk about technology, because there's actually a way that you can reduce or eliminate entirely all of the fees associated with running your business at Real. So number one, high cost structure with no cap. Number two, low value proposition. Number three is, a lot of the value proposition of many of these traditional franchise models is the brand. They sell the vehicle really aggressively. Our vehicle, our brand is the catalyst. It's the vehicle that will help facilitate your success. And I'll just tell, I have a major problem with this because I have spent the past 20 years building my own brand. And yes, I have been with multiple brokerages, 4 at this point. and two of them significant, I should say one of them significant brand present in the marketplace. And then I built my own brand, and our business just grew. We're top 4 in our marketplace today, really with our own brand. And let me tell you why this is relevant. If you're not building your own brand, or worse, if you're not allowed to build your own brand at your current brokerage, then you're changing your brand every 3 to 4 years. Why every 3 to 4 years? Well, according to ChatGPT, which is, basically researching all of the, the global, all of the information and data available out there, the average real estate agent moves brokerages every 3 to 4 years. So if you are all in on XYZ franchise brand or XYZ, boutique broker brand, then you're having to change that brand every 3 to 4 years. And there are opportunity costs, and I've learned this the hard way. There are opportunity costs associated with not building your own brand, or not being allowed, even worse, to build your own brand. So that is a significant difference. At Real, your brand is your brand. If you look at my brand today, now it's a little state dependent, because some states like for your brand's logo to be similar in size to your brokerage's logo. Here in Virginia, that is not the case. If you drive by my office, sorry, Real, but you can't really see the real brand, because my brand is what we want in front and center. So all of our yard signs, if you go to our website, missionrealty.com, you'll see an example of it there as well. Our brand is front and center because we're just very intentional about that. And we're allowed to promote our brand first. And then number 4 is low, and this is a really big one, given the climate that we're all in today, and how fast technology, and specifically artificial intelligence or artificial technology, is moving. So the fourth major difference is low or minimal technology, including no real or no significant investment in artificial intelligence or artificial technology. Now, Real took an entirely different step and really just kind of walked away from the crowd and built a technology company, essentially built a technology platform that just happens to sell real estate. And if you think about companies like Starbucks is a really good example. Starbucks is as much of a bank, a financial technology company, as they are a coffee company. In fact, they're considered one of the largest banks in the world today, because they're sitting on $1.6 billion with a B of customer app deposits, customer fintech deposits. If you're a Starbucks drinker like our family is, then I am constantly, it kind of makes me sick a little bit. I need to buy some Starbucks stock. We're constantly uploading cash to that app because we have teenage daughters, and my wife also likes to drink Starbucks, and I do too. And so that's $1.6 billion. I think they're like 30 or 33 million users around the world of that. So it's a brilliant idea to add another major profit center, $1.6 billion. They're able to capitalize, to take advantage of all of that capital as well. So that's what Real has done. Because we're a technology company, we have invested tens of millions of dollars on an annual basis into our technology, into our artificial intelligence, and what we're building, what we're about to, I can't wait to announce to you in just a few short weeks what we are releasing with artificial intelligence to streamline our businesses and the communication and how we communicate with clients. Which, friends, if you're not looking at artificial intelligence to help streamline your business, I just want to encourage you to do it, regardless of who you're with. But if you're with a traditional model that is not utilizing technology, not giving you access to tools that are built in, that you're paying for this stuff, then that's a significant difference between the traditional franchise model and the Real platform, because we built our technology from the ground up, and you can actually operate pretty much your entire business out of the palm of your hand. And then number 5 is lack of consistent training that adds real value and can help you actually scale your business profitably to the next level. Let me give you an example. Now, again, there are outliers to all of these, okay? And I understand that. And feel free to drop those comments in the chat. I'd love to have that conversation. But statistically speaking, most brokerages are kind of stuck in the sand. It's amazing. Like they're just, if they're moving, they're not moving fast enough. And so this lack of consistent training, what Real has done is they've created this academy called Real Academy, where all of the top producing agents at Real. Now you have to be what we call an elite agent, which essentially means you have to sell on average about 30 houses per year. So it's the best of the best. In order to qualify to teach back to the greater Real community. So yesterday, I walked into my office and my sales manager was training on and she was using Real Academy to do this training. And there's a gentleman whose name, let me find that for you here, because she just sent it to me. His name is Vikram Diol. I hope I said that right. I want to give you credit, Vikram, because we all have access. Everybody, all 30,000, soon to be 31,000 Real agents have access to Vikram's training in Real Academy. And man, the conversations that were started around your training, Vikram, in Real Academy yesterday with our 40 agents were like some of the best conversation we've had around mindset and how to move forward in this really tough environment were huge. I mean, it moved. Your training moved the needle. So first of all, thank you. But to illustrate the difference between having access to not just Vikram but to me. To Brad McCallum, Tim Macy, Ryan Zook, Eric Hatch. I mean, just hundreds of really top producing, hard hitting agents that are committed to opening up their entire playbook to you and I. Do you have access to something like that in your current brokerage? If you don't, it's worth taking a peek at that just for that reason alone, in my opinion, because we say this to our teenage daughters, show me your friends and I'll show you who you are. Like, we are the average of the 5 people we spend the most amount of time with. Who are you spending time with? And who do you have access to spend time with at your existing brokerage? That's a big one, number 5. And I'm going to give you a bonus. The bonus today is banking. Now, that might sound weird, but if your traditional franchise model does not offer banking, Real does. And because we are a technology company, Real has built a financial technology product that not only offers a Real bank that is it's called the Real Wallet, that is FDIC insured up to $250,000 per account, and we are integrating a way to automate the movement of your money between various business checking accounts. So think your income account, right? Your income account where all of your commission money moves into, and then automating the movement of that money into your owner profit account, into your owner pay account, into your tax account, and ultimately into your OpEx account. All of those accounts are free, will be free to you, and you will be able to choose the percentage that you allocate automatically to these accounts. So you'll be able to not only run your entire business off of this technology platform, but you will be able to bank off of this platform. Why is that relevant? Because if you decide to bank with Real's bank, Real is going to, of course, take advantage of all of the capital that is sitting in these accounts, and all of the points that they're earning from the merchant fee every time you and I swipe the Real Visa debit card, which you would also receive at Real. So they retain a percentage of that, and they give us a percentage of that merchant charge in the form of points. Now, at scale, this is a very exciting profit center for Real, because this is a profit center, my friends, that is not contingent upon transactions. It's contingent upon our spending habits, which, unfortunately are not great in most cases. And that's where this automation of the movement of our money comes in. More on that in another video. Now, again, we can actually take those points that we're earning with this banking system by just having money sitting in our operating account. We're earning points. And we can apply those points towards reducing not just our fees, which are already low, but also our cap, which is also already low. For some of us, we will eliminate all of the fees, including the cap. That is the vision of our founder at Real, is to make this a zero-based brokerage opportunity because of our banking platform. So really exciting. And all of this to say, what is the ROI? The major differences between the traditional franchise model and this very nimble technology company called Real Brokerage are just that. Because we don't have all of the infrastructure costs, and they're no longer needed, my friends, we can do business from anywhere at any time because of technology, because of artificial intelligence. All of this stuff built into the palm of your hand for you. So those are the major differences between the traditional franchise or brokerage model and Real Brokerage. Thanks again for spending a few minutes with you. We'll see you next time.